Hey, what's going on, everybody? Max here with BB, and today for 10 Minutes Max, we are going to be talking about why I'm bullish ETH, why you should be bullish ETH, and why you don't have a damn choice to be bullish ETH here. Before we get into it, do me a solid. Please consider liking the video and also subscribing to the channel if you are new here. All right, so here's the ETH chart. We are on the weekly time frame. Now, I understand there's a lot of fear and concern and doubt about the state of the crypto market right now, which I will just say is kind of a good thing. Okay. But I'm going to explain to you why you don't have a choice as a crypto owner whether to be bullish or bearish here. It's really, in my opinion, at a non negotiable level. Okay. So we're going to just do a really quick little market structure study. Um, we're going to do a little market structure study here. I'm going to turn off the candle colors just so you can see the outline of where price was, but I'm going to draw some lines on here and show you guys what I'm talking about. All right. So first things first, we're going to look at last cycle, okay? There's something that everybody should recognize very quickly. This is your bear market reaccumulation zone, okay? You nuke after a bull market, price is down 95%. You chop, chop, chop. This doesn't look like it's that long because I'm on the weekly time frame, but it was really, 700 days, right? It was a long time, okay? So there's your bear market reaccumulation zone. Now we're going to mark out where the top part of that region is, okay? It's basically like right here, okay? You can see that numerous times got rejected, got rejected, got rejected, finally broke out and retest, right? Very obvious. Now we're going to do that same thing for where we are currently at, okay? Something like this, right? I'm not going to be overly precise about it. You'll understand what I'm talking about, right? Same thing as over here, rejected, 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 kind of flipped it, flipped it. You get the point. That was your bear market reaccumulation, okay? So what we're going to do right now is draw some lines on it, okay? So let's mark out our bear market really simply. So first pullback, lower high, again, just nuking. There we go. So this was your bear market. We're going to put this in red, okay? Now we're going to mark out the last bear market that we had from the all-time high. Drop, lower high, we nuke, right? Something like this, okay? And we could go lower and draw some more, but like this is essentially your move here, right? And of course, if we wanted to go lower, we could draw, another little pause right there and, whatever. But you get the point, okay? There's your bear market. Now we're going to draw our bull market, right? Where market structure then shifts to the upside, right? So we move off this low, and I'm going to exclude COVID because that was a 1 in 100 year black swan, okay? Now we are in an uptrend, just like this, and we're going to make it green, okay? So again, I'll draw this out as an exclusion. Here we are. We're going to just say this is black swan, and we're going to put this on the bottom and in the center. Okay, so we're excluding that. But what you can see right here, this is the most important thing, right? Is you have your high, lower high, lower high, lower lows along, this whole trend down. And then you break structure and you move to the upside, right? You put in a higher high and then a higher low. And even counting COVID, which we're going to exclude because it was a black swan, you technically didn't get below that low right there, all right? But you put in a higher high, a higher low, and then you break out of it, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. You break structure, lower high, lower low, right? Now we're going to draw out our bull market right now. Here we go. Okay. So here's where we're currently at right now. All right. Here's your downtrend. And now we have for a while now been putting in a series of higher highs and higher lows, right? We are in a high time frame uptrend, and most importantly, we are on top of our bear market range high or reaccumulation zone high, just like we were over here. I'm going to show you specifically looking at this why you just cannot go lower. I've seen a lot of people calling for like $1,200 ETH, $900 ETH, a whole bunch of really low levels. where in my opinion, you just simply can't do it. What you need to see is you need to see it bounce like this. Maybe it's like this or it's like this. It doesn't matter, right? The point being is you need to maintain this bullish market structure, put in a higher high, higher low, high. You need to continue in this high time frame uptrend, okay? Because in my opinion, if you lose this blue box, which is your bear market reaccumulation range high, and you dip down here to, 14, 1500, then you bounce back up like this, and unfortunately, then what would happen is you're going to be in a downtrend. Okay. Your bull market is no longer in existence. You can't spend 5, 6, 700 days reaccumulating in this bear market reaccumulation like we were over here and then re-enter it. You simply do not have an option. There's no way around it unless I guess unless we had a COVID black swan and it was like, boom, and in like 4 days or something, we were back above it. But like you can't really plan for something like that. It just happens, okay? So here's your market structure. You need to maintain it, and you simply cannot go below that blue line. Okay, now we're gonna zoom in a little bit, and we're gonna take a look at how ETH will typically bottom. We'll put our candle colors back on. All right. So we recognize that you need to hold this range high right here, like the bear market reaccumulation range high. You cannot go below it. All right, we're going to mark that in red. We're also going to mark out the other one in red right here. And again, it's not perfect, but you get the point, right? Like this is your region. Okay, here's your two regions. Now, there's a few different ways that we've seen ETH bottom before. Now, let me zoom in and show you an example. After you get like a big nuke or something like that, all right, there's a couple different ways you can bottom. Here's a prime example. Ignore the red box above, right? This is your nuke, right? Here's your nuke right here for ETH. Aggressive sell-off, classic. And then what you do is you come back and you fill in the entirety of the wick and actually sort of do a little bear trap to the downside, right? And this one actually had two. But there's some other examples on the chart where you don't do that, okay? So for example, this is a prime example of one where we didn't do that. We nuked right here and we left this wick. And I remember trading during this. I remember watching price and I was like, yep, it'd be very, very nice and satisfying to come back, fill that in, and then we start moving our way up. But you just never got it, right? You just never got it. Price moved up. You never filled in the wick. And to this day, we haven't come back to that level. I guess if we're going to be in a new bear market and, the people calling for 1200 are correct, then I'm sure we will go back down there. But assuming that we hold the red box, which is your literally non-negotiable gotta hold region, these should never be revisited again. Like we should never be back under this box, But the point of me showing you this is similarly to, what happened right here. Like I just showed you, where we took out these wicks. See, one, you don't need to do it twice, right? But you can take it out and then you turn around, right? It's possible that we could, in fact, come and get this wick, right? It's possible we could do something like this. I'll put these, like this. This wouldn't be something we haven't seen before, right? It wouldn't be. I don't want us to do that because it's still a few hundred points above. We're still a few hundred points above that. But again, like I showed you guys, we don't have to do that. There's just as many instances of us not grabbing the low. Here's another prime example. We came really close to it. We never did, right? So there's a bunch of different examples on how we can bottom, but showing you guys here like where we can't on the higher time frame re-exit, right? Like we have our trend. Here's your trend. I drew this one earlier, but it's basically what I just drew for you guys. Here's your high time frame trend. You can't go below. You can't get back into the bear market reaccumulation. I will not negotiate. It can't happen. You will destroy your structure, okay? I showed you locally how we could bottom a couple times. Let's take a look at what happened over here last cycle. All right. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go to like the 6 hour just so we can get a little bit more information. Here we were last cycle. Remember, the red box is you cannot go back below it. You can't negotiate. You just can't do it. It destroys your structure. So let's look at what we did last cycle when we were retesting it at this critical level. Interesting. We didn't come back and retest that low. We got pretty close to it, but we didn't. We left it and we never came back to it, right? So you dropped and you broke structure, right? Very clearly, you broke structure, market structure break to the downside, got a nice retest, never came back to sweep the nuke low. We've seen this before, right? We just went over a couple examples. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And honestly, it's a coin toss whether you do or you don't. I don't think we need to, but I also wouldn't be that discouraged if we did. I'd be a little annoyed. Nobody wants price to go down, right? But you don't really know. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. This time we didn't. But something else that's interesting about this period of time is the seasonality of it, right? Q4 is historically really, really good for crypto. Bitcoin, actually, the average return for Bitcoin in Q4 is like 88% over October, November, and December. And ETH is right up there with it. ETH has done typically phenomenal. If you accumulate ETH in Q4, going all the way through into Q1 has typically been really, really good. Okay. It's been really, really good. And actually, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about right now. You have Bitcoin monthly ROI. Q4 typically is amazing. October, November, December. Look at all this green, right? There are some red ones, right? But very, very green, generally speaking, right? And Bitcoin goes up, ETH goes up. It's really, really simple. But anyways, what I find really interesting about this, like I was just mentioning, is that the seasonality is pretty similar to where we're at right now, right? Like, let's mark this out, okay? So here is September. Actually, what we're going to do is we're just going to mark out Q4. So here's October 1st, okay? And we're going to mark it out through the end of the year. So here is January 1st. If I could get my mouse to work. Here's January 1st right here. So we actually had a very solid recovery from this level. When ETH back in 2020 before the bull market basically broke structure and retested the non-negotiable cannot lose level, it ended up rebounding really nicely into Q4. And at this time, ETH actually went up 134%. Okay, it went up over 100% from this cannot lose level right here. Cannot re-enter the bear market reaccumulation region, right? So at this point, I'm sure a lot of people were like, oh yeah, we're going to come back in and we're going to fill in this, this inefficiency right here. Look at this whole move up, thin volume profile. They probably wanted to bid down in this region, right? Why would you not want to, right? Very obvious support. But we never even came back to get the wick, and then Q4 was really good, and they were just left sitting there, right? So now let's move forward to where we are currently, and let's mark out Q4. So similarly, we are sitting right on top of our cannot lose level, just like we were last cycle. And now let's mark out Q4. So we're in September. We got a few weeks until October, right? But there's the start of October, and then the end of the year is right here. So the big question is, like, are we going to do the same thing? We have been here before. We have been sitting right on top of our must not re-enter region, right? The red box. You cannot re-enter under any circumstances your bear market reaccumulation. Additionally, we bottomed in a similar fashion at a very similar time. This happened in September and October. Quick reminder. This happened in September and October. This is Q4 right here. I'll label this box for you guys. You cannot lose the red box. Oh, we're going to go lower. We're going to fill in these inefficiencies. Never even swept the low. And then Q4, we went up over 100%. How about right here? Could we be doing the exact same thing that we did last cycle, where we're hovering above our literally cannot lose level? Everybody wants the wick to be taken out. And additionally, I've seen a lot of calls for this level because it's obvious, right? Oh, there's clearly some support down here. I'll bid down here, you know? But in reality, you can't lose this level and you don't have to take out this wick, and Q4 is coming up right around the corner. So I've shown you guys why we simply cannot lose this level, and potentially in sort of a spooky fashion, how we are doing what we've always done at more or less the same time, right? But again, you can't lose this level. You need to be right here. You need to be in your bear market retest before Q4. Here's the chart for you guys. Bear market, bull market, scary retest of the bear market reaccumulation range high. Then the bull market begins, kicked off by Q4 strength. End of discussion. You cannot negotiate. You cannot go back down into the bear market reaccumulation. You can't. We'll save these and we can come back to them. Save this as bear market retest. All right. Additionally, we're going to zoom in and take a quick little look at where we are at structurally. It would be very interesting to see something like this play out right here. ETH locally, as I've just mentioned, is in that cannot lose level, right? On the higher time frames, here's your red box, right? This is your cannot lose level. Take that back off. In a more local sense, now granted, this goes back to March, right? But we've recognized that we just had a nuke. We're at a level on the higher time frames that we simply cannot lose. And locally, look at what we're retesting right now. The wick low to this rally high, retesting the golden pocket, and you've got this little normie diagonal trend line that has 3 beautiful taps from the inception of it. And additionally, we're doing kind of a little PO3 pattern, as the traders like to call it, where you have an accumulation, a fake breakdown, or a real breakdown, right? But like a manipulation that makes you think that this is not accumulation and it's distribution, when this is really accumulation. If we had moved up here and done like a fake breakout and then re-entered like this, I would say, all right, this is distribution. It's not. What we did instead is we accumulated. We basically manipulated retail positions into thinking it's over. And if we can hold this golden pocket or even sweep the low, it doesn't really matter. Again, we went over that it doesn't matter. It can happen either way. It's happened both ways a dozen times. Break out of this trend line and then work our way up into Q4. You have, again, those seasonal tailwinds. Here's your Q4. Here's your must-hold level. Here's your Q4 strength, just like we had last cycle. And look at what happened, right? So there's a really nice technical setup that's actually happening right now amidst all of this fear, in that, like, we are holding exactly where we need to. And Q4 historically is really, really good for risk, right? And it's happening at the same time we're getting the bear market retest that we got in 2020 before ETH basically went from $300 to almost 5,000. So I find the timing to be very, very interesting. And, again, additionally, this is a really nice little setup right here. This is a really nice setup where you have a lot of fear, a lot of people saying it's over, it's done. But what I see right here is a range high retest of a bear market reaccumulation with a high time frame PO3 pattern, with this being the manipulation phase before the expansion into what is historically a very risk-on Q4 in a halving year. So anyways, guys, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe before you go, guys. We are growing so quickly, and it's because you guys take the time to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. I know I haven't made a lot of these videos recently because we have basically just rolled out BB Terminal to our community, and I've been trying to give our man Ed a little bit more free time so he doesn't have to edit these videos. But we are going to be right back on schedule, pumping out videos like crazy. Appreciate you guys hanging in there and enjoying Market Check since we've been taking a couple weeks off from doing this. But anyways, guys, please like and subscribe before you go. Check out the links in the description below to our Discord and to BB Academy. But I know price is down, so I won't bug you too much on that right now. We'll wait till prices are up. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for being here. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.